Hello and welcome to another video. My name's Jess and today I'm going to show you how to turn one of these into one of those. Stay tuned, I think you're going to enjoy. It's a common misconception that in order to light a fire with the amadou layer of the horse's hoof, you've got to boil it and go through this super rigorous prep. I'm going to show you today that it's not actually necessary. As long as your mushroom has had a chance to dry out, you can actually light a fire using the amadou layer of this fungus without having to boil it or have a fire already done in order to prepare the amadou layer. So you'll find horse hoof fungi or Fomes formatarius growing on dead or dying birch trees. This birch tree is alive and well, so you won't find any mushrooms on this one. But key identifying features of birch trees is look for that white, absolutely white bark with the sort of lines or striations across it. Birch trees also have this really flaky bark which can be used as a fire lighting source itself. This is actually my tinder of choice, this birch bark. It's fantastic. Once you have identified your birch tree and you've sourced your horsehoof fungus, you can either take it home and dry it, or you can slice the piece off that you want in situ. It's a windy, warm day, you can put it up high in the wind and the sun and dry it off like that. But always remember, when it comes to lighting fires, the drier the better. So you'll have to forgive the wind. It's very, very warm, but it is a very, very windy day. So apologies for any audio disruption. Bear with me. Welcome to Scotland. First thing that you need to be mindful of is fungus selection. So these are the same species, but you can see they look slightly different. This one's got a little sort of nodule on its head, and this one is a really full and bulbous conch. And you want the fullest conch that you can find. This one is actually a bit younger than this one, I believe, and if you actually have a look, there's a bit there. You can see that underneath the cortex, the amadou layer makes up less than a quarter of the total volume of the mushroom, and most of the volume of the mushroom is actually these hard sporing tubes. So that sort of growth, that sort of stage in its growth, is not ideal if you want the amadou layer. You want something that's a lot more mature. Obviously the bigger the better, but make sure that you harvest responsibly. But as you can see, the sporing tubes on this one are only about a quarter of the total cross section of the mushroom, and all of this is that sort of soft buckskin leather feeling amadou layer. So I'm going to process this amadou layer here by taking my knife and taking the most sort of consistent, largest slice off of it that I can reasonably manage. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is going to remove the outer cortex layer, because you don't really need that. Remove as much of it as you can without compromising the amount of amadou that you've actually got. And you don't need a knife to do this, you can do this with your finger if you are patient enough. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take it between my fingers like this, and I'm going to rotate it. One hand forward, one hand back. And this basically buffs up the fibres and will make them a little bit more accessible and easier to strike with a ferrocerium rod without having to go through the softening and the boiling process, which requires you to already have fire going. I like to buff this up until it starts to feel weak, and either a small hole forms somewhere on the amadou, or the fibres become actually visible. As you've buffed your amadou, you're starting to see the fibres loosen. The next thing you're going to do is take your knife and actually rub it across the surface of this until it looks like a pile of fur. believe it or not. So you could do this on a rock to give you the sort of hard surface advantage. You could do this on ground sheet, on a split piece of wood. It's nice and dry today, so I'm not worried about introducing moisture into this from the ground. So you just use your knife all over and just, you're not trying to cut through it, you're just rubbing your knife across the surface with a little bit of pressure to create this fluffy, almost fur-like surface. See? So as you can see now, it's kind of got this furry texture to it. Really, really fine. And that's what we want. Now, prep is essential, so make sure that you have a tinder bundle that's got plenty of grass and bits and bobs in it. So mine has got some grass, I've got the world's smallest piece of birch bark here that I'm just going to buff up and add to the centre. And then once your tinder bundle is ready and your little sticks and stuff, it's all ready, that's then when you actually go for your ember. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hold it down and we're going to shower it like this. Absolutely shower it with sparks. And sometimes, if you've done this really well, sometimes you can actually get a flame to appear off of the amadou. It would be really nice if we could just get a flame straight away, but we've got a tinder bundle here just in case we don't. Really, really shower it. Okay, there we go. So see that? Get that in our tinder bundle. And just give that a minute to build up some heat. And there you go. Fire. And there you have it, a fire from a horse's hoof fungus without the need to boil or do anything crazy to prep the amadou layer. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you like what you see and would like to see more videos from me, then be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what kind of videos you want to see. Yeah, I think anybody can do this as long as you know how to identify the correct mushroom and you have the patience. Give it some practice, I'm sure you'll get it down. But yeah, that's all we've got time for today. So thanks again, and I will see you in the woods.